I wish I made it up. I think that one was around before our time. Anyway, that saying...
So, before our time? There's like a decade between us. Welcome back, Jay, to this week's McInnes Marketing Minute. Here we are in our beautiful new listing.
3575 West 6th, the cusp Kitsilano as you roll over to Dunbar. Mm-hmm. So we're on the furthest west with one block left of Kits west of us. So an amazing neighborhood, as you know, 1,307 square feet. The B-roll is going to show the excellence in which we are in.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful home.
Currently under 9'7" ceilings, if I may add.
Yeah, and if you do watch the video tour of the property, even a sneak peek of me doing some yoga in there with my oh so flexible self.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Okay, Jay, so today we are going to talk about the entry-level market, typically from a seller standpoint, because...
Get them on there.
That's it. As we've been saying for the last probably like month now, the market is really we're starting to see that slowdown now. We're starting to see properties sit there and build days on market, overpriced properties not selling. That 10 offers that you'd find on one place after a week is not necessarily happening anymore. But where things have really picked up for the time being, I'll carry that for the time being, is that entry level market. So I'm going to say up to about 750,000.
Yeah, so new buyers, first time buyers. Mm-hmm. You're still fighting a fight.
You're still fighting that good fight.
And you are getting hit from all angles.
Which is brutal.
First, back to last week. The government, stress test. First time buyer, deal with it. The market, the last segment of the market that's on fire still in a lot, not all, but a lot of cases, is that entry level. So you're getting hit from all angles.
Yeah, so a property coming to market, selling fast, multiple offers in that realm is still very much taking place. Again, it's not a case of something's massively overpriced and it's still going to get multiple offers. But if you're in that market, you've probably been looking for a while. You've probably come up against this scenario. And really, that side of things is going to drop. I mean, that side of the market will eventually follow the rest of the market, which is quieting down heavily. And that side of the market will eventually do that. And then from there, essentially as a seller, you're just hoping if you list at a later date that you're at equal value, because it's highly unlikely that it's going to slow down to then all of a sudden ramp up and prices to keep going up again.
Yeah, I think that, as you're saying, all other segments of the market are definitely taking that breather, as I like to call it.
So political correct of you.
No one has... I have to do it in at least one standpoint in life. No one has a crystal ball naturally, but we are definitely seeing less momentum in all other segments of the market except that entry level. So as you're saying, the high end of those kind of, I mean, you can get higher end, but the high end of those kind of price points in the 700s, and then below, obviously older buildings, maybe smaller units, all of that inventory is getting moved very quickly if you are remotely realistically priced.
Yeah, we've had a couple recently. We were representing the buyers in this case, a property that was on the market for $599, and within a week there were 9 offers, and it went for above asking price. And then we've just had another one recently where we listed it on the property, and the day after we had an accepted offer on the space. So things are heating up very much so in that market, but for a caveat amount of time. I feel if you're in the market and you're thinking about listing that type of property, now is really your chance to do it. If you're not going to, you're going to have to wait. As I personally am making the call, I think you're going to lose some value if you come to do this in maybe the fall time or the spring of next year. I think it's going to be a couple of years.
What's the saying? The high tide raises all boats or something?
Never heard of that saying in my life. Did you?
It's like when the ocean goes up.
Well, no, I get the premise behind it, but did you make it up?
I wish I made it up. I think that one was around before our time. Anyway, that saying...
So, before our time? There's like a decade between us.
We went over our age difference last week. That saying is going to be the same thing as Ben's saying. eventually it will follow the rest of the market. There isn't one segment of the market that will forever stay hot, and this is not that one. It's the last one hanging on, but of course I agree with you that at some point soon it will follow suit and cool. So for the sellers,
emphasis on the hanging on, because the rest of the market, when it slowed down,
thank you.
It slowed down very fast. Within a matter of weeks,
yes.
It felt like things were really hot to really not. And I think this is going to follow in exactly the same way. So now is your last chance, because we don't want to be having the conversation with you saying, you should have listed at this point when we told you to. Now you're only worth this. So go out there, go forth, and take the advice. Yeah?
Go forth. Was that like an old English reference?
Go, yeah, and Star Wars.
Talking to your
subjects,
your army of horsed fighters behind you, whatever they're called. Never mind.
Cavalry. This is just getting more and more embarrassing for you as this goes on. So we'll cut it here, guys. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week as usual.